Hi everyone.
Hello, everyone.
We're just waiting for Melissa to come online and then we're going to start our TokTalk Sunday with the PCF team. It's been a month since we were last online where we get together and unpack and have a look at what we've done in the last month. And we have had a busy month and there's been quite a lot happening in the region. So Melissa's here and she's joining us. We're just going to wait for her to come on so she can share with us what she's also been doing. So,
Sorry, Joe, that it's saying that I can't turn on my camera. You're going to enable it. I know you don't want people to see my face.
we're live at the moment, so Melissa's just having some technical issues.
Um,
Let me what?
Give me.
I have to let you in?
No, you have to allow for me to switch my video on.
Oh, here we go. How do we do that? Make a co-host. How does that work?
Let's try. Yes.
Yay! Now we're actually live, so
straight into it.
straight into it.
That's okay.
Because this is supposed to be TokTalk Sundays with the PCF team, but
Sunday.
at the moment, it's Sunday somewhere in the world, right? So Sunday's not actually over yet, even though it's Monday here in New Zealand. So, hi everybody, nice to see you all. We'll get Angie to do a bit of an intro for those of you who've forgotten who Angie is, and then we'll get Melissa to also do an intro and tell us who she is now.
Oh, I'm Anji Naidu. It would be really sad if people have already forgotten me within a week. But if you have
It's been a month. It's been
a month, sorry, yes, but still a month. Month is not a long enough time to forget me. I think we have been doing a lot of work together with Melissa and John. So one of the project managers here at PCF, and you'll hear more from me once we go ahead with whatever we have been doing throughout the month.
Thanks, Angie. Hey, Melissa, tell us who we are.
Yes. Kia ora, everybody. Malo lele. My name is Melissa Lama, as mentioned. I'm all the way here in the beautiful Ototahi Christchurch. I was a project manager at PCF, but now just one of Joe and Angie's amazing friends and community friends. So thank you so much for asking me to come back. And as you know, I like to talk, so I'm really happy to be here. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks, Melissa. And hi everyone, I'm Joanna Burke and I'm also here at PCF as one of the team, but also CE. And Melissa used to be part of the team until a couple of weeks ago. She's gone off on her own, but thankfully we've asked her to come back and share with us some of the things that she was working on before she departed in the last month, which I think would be great for her to share here on this platform. Now, you know, the reason why we do this is, as I had said earlier, we do quite a lot of work in the month, and I know there's a lot of this work that you'd all like to know and hear about, just so that you can understand who Pacific Corporation Foundation is and what we're doing out there, not just here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, but also out in the region. So this is a really good way, we think, to unload and unpack what we've been doing, because it has been quite busy in the region in the last month, where we have seen the 52nd Pacific Island Forum meeting, where the 18 countries and the leaders of those 18 island countries gathered in the Cook Islands in early November. As well as now we've in Honiara in the Solomon Islands, we've got the Solomon 23 Pacific Games that's happening. And also we know that there's quite a lot of activity happening in the region as people prepare to head off to Dubai for COP28. So with all those things happening, there's also things that have been happening here locally as well, such as last week on Friday here in Tamaki Makaurau was Mana Moana at Spark Arena. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen some footage that has come from that big concert that was held at Spark. And yeah, but look, this is not all about me and PCF. It'll be good to have the other two on the call also talk and share about what they've seen. So, Angie, can you just share with us some of the things that you've been working on, and just maybe also just, unpack what you think we should know about what's happening in the region?
So one of the things that I attended, Joe, was the VSA movie premiere. So
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So volunteer services abroad, they work in the region, and I had the thank you for sending me the honor of attending one of their movie premieres, and they have put up a very nice video of the work that they are doing in Solomon and Vanuatu, and they have actually got small short videos. So 4 or 5 of those short videos where you see what they are those people who are volunteering outside of New Zealand and the work that they do and the difference that they are making in the community. So it was really nice, and I actually had goosebumps when I was watching some of those videos, because you actually see that there is so much that the Pacific needs, but we are not aware of it. And when we see what organizations like VSA they do, it really touches my heart. And one thing I'm being a bit biased, because I have worked with One Small Bag Theatre for a very long time, and seeing them featured in the video, and I actually noticed that from the time 2004 to 2016 I was associated with them, and I was actually working with them. But now 2023, when I was looking at the videos, they have got youth centers and the work VSA is doing there, and amazing. So that was one of those things. And once again, our favorite Honorable Simon.
Hang on, before you start talking about your boy crush. VSA, Volunteer Services Abroad, those short videos that
Yes.
they've made are of volunteers that have gone from New Zealand into these different countries?
Yes.
Okay, and are those videos available for people to watch
Yes.
today?
Yes.
And where can we find those
Volunteer
videos?
Services Abroad. We go to the website and those links are there.
So it's www.vsa.org.nz?
Yeah.
Perfect. So just in case people want to go watch those videos, Anvi.
So excited I have watched it. Sorry, I should have given more details about it. And yes, and also in general, like just going through the VSA website, there will be, like, if you are watching and you are interested in going and working in the region, you'll find a lot of opportunities, and you'll see what you have some skills that and Sama is here, you probably don't want to do anything, maybe there's a vacancy that you can apply to. So like what PCF does, it relates to the work that we do and the work that we want to see. So it's good. It was a good experience for me to see that there are other organizations who work on like similar work that PCF does.
And what countries aside from Vanuatu, who were the other countries that they had made short films on?
The short film did not have other countries, but I know VSA is in a lot of region. Like for Fiji, I know VSA is big there. VSA has done a lot of work out in the outer, not islands, but villages. Yes. And I have also heard that or read that they are going into a partnership with Fiji, so they are going to be bigger in Fiji as well.
I've had experience with VSA in Tonga, so I know that technical skills that are hard to come by, they organise through VSA for people to go in and do some work.
And when our interns walk in or visitors walk in, we also have like a counterpart in our office for VSA, and they see the sign of VSA. So I've seen today we had an internship, Teresa walk in, and she said, oh, she knows of VSA. So I believe they are also in Papua New Guinea.
They're throughout the region and afar, but it's good to see that VSA is getting some mention, right?
I'll let Tamar know.
Tamar know that will
that she has to watch this particular episode of our webinar. Moving on. Okay.
Melissa, you're right there?
Yes.
She cut me short when I wanted to talk about Honorable Simon Coffey. So now I was like, moving on. Yes.
Yeah.
Because he was in New Zealand. he didn't meet me, but it was good to hear that the work that he mentioned in our interview, TokTalk, the PCF's TokTalk, that he is, or Tuvalu is continuing with the good work that they have been planning on the digitalization of their statehood. So he mentioned that, and it's good to hear that, climate issue is big in Tuvalu. So I think they are one of those, and I'm proud to, of the whole country, that they are taking some stringent steps to ensure that everything is not lost. So all the best to Tuvaluans, and good work there. I mean, I'm looking forward to hear more about what they are going to do with those. I mean, how it's progressing. But at the moment, what I'm reading is that it's still going on. It's not something that they planned and it has died out.
Plus, they're the only country in the world that is digitalizing their
Yes.
nationhood, right? Or
Yes.
statehood.
Yes.
And they're doing that as a way to protect their language and their culture.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, so, but I suppose the other interesting thing to talk about is the Australia Tuvalu Falepili Union. So do you want to talk us, what are your thoughts on that?
We really want to share our thoughts on that.
Yeah, why not? Because I think it's interesting, and it's probably a hot topic, given that, Tuvalu is suffering every day the effects of climate change with the rising sea levels, and they're low-lying atolls.
Yeah.
And resettlement of communities is a reality, climate reality for
Mm-hmm.
countries like Tuvalu. So what is your opinion on
the Falepili Union? So, Joe, this would be my personal opinion, and this is not PCF's opinion. This is my personal opinion. I'm like, we have got from Fiji. When we come to New Zealand, we have that Pacific access category, and I think we also have 250 Fijians who get access, or they are allowed to come on a more like lottery.
Mhm.
Something like that. I applied for it a few times. I didn't get through to New Zealand through that PAC access category. But for the Falepili, I believe it's a similar kind of agreement, but we get all this information from the media, and then Tuvaluans were not, they were consulted. Sorry, yes. Tuvaluans were not consulted. And if that is the case, if the people were not consulted, if a agreement has come into being, and the power that Australia will have over Tuvalu, that is something to think about. Especially, like, we are all very big fans of Tuvalu after we did that interview, and even from before that, I think Honorable Simon Coffey has put Tuvalu on the map after his interview, when he was standing knee deep giving that interview, and people actually saw that, okay, this is one nation that wants to do something about the climate change. But when I look at the Falepili Union, I don't feel that it is a climate issue that is coming up here. It's more about the country and its security, and how people will benefit from it in future. For the long term, how Tuvalu is going to be impacted by it, that is something to think about, especially if the consultation did not take place. I feel that it's not very something that I'm not for, but good for the people who will get that kind of opportunity to go to Australia. Of course, there's pros and cons in everything. So I believe that maybe it could have been done in a better way.
Yeah, maybe. But I suppose that when we look at PCF and the work that we do around strengthening identity, deepening relationships, and amplifying voice, it's really important that, I suppose, for Tuvalu, that they remember that, with the work that's going around the digitalization of their nationhood, that culture, language, their heritage is not lost.
Exactly.
And that they're not ceding sovereignty to big players like Australia.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think
Tuvalu is fighting the good fight, and being the only nation that is fighting for its identity and save its statehood. And ensuring that even if everything is lost, they will still have everything, like digitally, the nation will stand. But yes, if you give it away.
Yeah, and maybe they could have done the partnership a lot better.
Yes,
by
I
consulting
think so. I think so.
local Tuvalans. But anyway, we won't get into that.
But I was just going to
because-
say, Joe, sorry,
Yeah.
just to jump in here. While you were talking, Angie, I don't know too much about it, but I had just found a review done on the agreement by an academic here in New Zealand, and they're stating, they're saying there's some limitations around the agreement and on the longevity of it. So any government from Australia or Tuvalu can dissolve it effective immediately if they wanted.
Okay.
Which, if you think about it, it's like, yes, that's how democracy works. But in terms of people's livelihood and, resettling, it's not probably the best part. There needs to be more emphasis and focus on that. But I do have to say it's definitely an agreement that sets precedents that I think is needed in the Pacific, especially with New Zealand and Australia around, climate resettlement. No one's really been that brave to do it. And even though they haven't stated it's climate resettlement, let's be honest, why would Tuvaluans want to leave their homeland, So I am now interested to go in there and look at it some more, which I'm sure other viewers will be as well.
I think this is a really great time, Melissa, for you to unpack why we've got you here at the moment. And I think while that is happening, let's see if we can share a little video that provides a bit of a segue into what you're going to be talking about. So let's get this video going. That didn't work. So I think you're just going to have to you're going to have to just do your little introduction, and that may be as part of when we start editing this that we can add the videos in. But you can talk to us about the videos, because one of these days we will get the technicals all sorted. And we've just had a new staff member arrive today, Regan. So yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Yes, so why I'm here is because in my last week of working for PCF, I had the absolute pleasure of being in Auckland and attending Whene Fest. And for those who don't know what Whene Fest is, it's run by Whene Pasifika Aotearoa. Apologies if I haven't got the whole name correct, but it's a organisation that's pretty much there to support the Pasifika Rainbow community here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and in the Pacific region. In terms of, the leaders of this organisation, Felicia Brown-Acton, who, if you have done work in the region, you will know this name, this queen, this person, this amazing woman who has done so much for our Pacific communities, especially our Pasifika Rainbow communities. And I think the highlight for me was, having the privilege as a cis Tongan woman, a heterosexual woman who got to be amongst a community who were willing to be vulnerable and share just really what the realities are of their lived experiences in the most colourful, vibrant, and most welcoming and inclusive way. And, just to acknowledge this as well, I don't want to come in and be like, oh, I got to hang out with a group of Pacifica Rainbow community people. Like, no, it was more so of an opportunity for me to sit and listen in regards to how PCF can be of more support to this community. So we were lucky to attend the first 2 days. Well, I was lucky to attend the first 2 days, which ended up being 3 days, but they had the Whene Fest Ideas Symposium, which was led and, magically, skillfully coordinated by Seo Tawhili, Dr. Patrick Thompson from the University of Auckland. I was about to say the University of Otago. Sorry, but no, definitely the University of Auckland. Sorry, Patrick. And the whole point of the symposium was to gather points of esteemed scholars and researchers who are specializing in the study of Pasifika Rainbow communities and their voices. And so we had the amazing, well-known Fuamaono Dr. Carl Poloto Inderman, who opened the day up with a keynote speech, just reminding everyone about the journey that Pasifika Rainbow community have had to endure in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and he even talked about some of the reforms and legislations that Carl and many of the community had fought for in the past, and a lot of them had already passed. So it was beautiful to see Carl give voice and acknowledgement to those people, and including Bubsy, who was a one known figure here in Christchurch. And if you from the Pasifika Rainbow community, you'll know Bubsy as being very elegant, very you do what I say. And I knew Bubsy because I was 18 and I was Bubsy's driver for an NGO here for 2 years. So I picked up Bubsy every day and brought Bubsy to appointments and meetings. And so I heard a lot of Dr. Carl's names and people's names when Bubsy would talk, but I had never met them. So being able to reflect on that made me quite emotional, and I started crying because I thought, oh my gosh, this is the people that Bubsy would talk about, and I'd be like, so yeah, sorry. And so that part of the keynote was just such a good way to set the scene. And then just they had some other PhD and master students talk about their researchers, and one in particular was the amazing Tongan woman Penny Wolfram, who did research on ladies in red, which looks at the experiences of Tongan ladies in Aotearoa in Tonga. And, Penny Wolfram's about to hand in her thesis. And honestly, as someone who is currently trying to do a thesis as well, it was amazing to see just how well-rounded Penny's research was in terms of the gathering of her interviewees, the way in which she coordinated her interview process and her research methods. It was just obvious that Penny understands how important it is to take your interviewers through a journey that gives them value. And that is something that I've realized that cis women like myself or academics like myself who've never had to go through that lived experience take for granted. And so it was very hard not to put yourself, in your privilege and try and work out, how you don't actually think the way that a lot of the Pasifika Rainbow community think. But absolutely loved it. I could go on and on about it. And so they also had the amazing Coco Chandelier Glamour, and she Coco Chandelier, who talked about glamour representation in beauty pageants and the art of drag. And just hearing the backstory behind why beauty pageants, and the drag scene exists for the Rainbow community was something that I'd never actually heard before. So just hearing about why they push, Miss Galaxy and all the 10 different Hawaiian competitions they have in Hawaii for the LGBTQ plus community there was just, it's just hearing people's service and volunteer hours to make it work was just so people had a sense of belonging, just really makes you think beyond just a show that you go and enjoy. We just turn up and we're like, oh, this is so cool. And we have a laugh, we have a dance, but actually it's the people behind the scenes who work tirelessly, go through discrimination, get pushback, get judged, are not accepted, who create this place of inclusivity for people like ourselves who never have to deal with that every day. So as much as I sound very deep in my feedback, I think it's very hard not to speak this way because they did so well to look at creativity at the festival, but also keep in mind the things that you celebrate here, you must also celebrate here, which is the background stuff. And absolutely love it. And if I have to give key takeaways, it's definitely, I need to do a bit more in learning just the different, intersectionalities of the Pasifika Rainbow community, because it's very easy to turn around and be like, oh, well, they're whaleiti, they're lesbian, they're this. Well, actually, there's a whole lot of intersectionalities that we didn't even think of that by ignoring it actually does a lot worse for people in our community. So that is something that I'm going to take away for my professional life, but also my own personal life and as a mum. And so I just want to thank you, Joe, for inviting me to, or letting me go, because, you know, throughout the whole time I was there, I was messaging you and I was like, guys, I just can't believe it. It's just, yeah. So ask me away some questions. I'll just keep talking about it. But there is an opinion piece that has been written on the PCF website. And please go and read it. It's I'm not saying go read it because I'm amazing. I'm also go read it because there's some really good links and references in there that I think will help anybody in any space. And my last parting thing to say would probably be everyone needs to take accountability to really look at what's in front of us in terms of our Pasifika Rainbow community. I don't think it's fair for most people like us to just wait for opportunities like symposiums. Like, I think we really need to put that as a priority in our delivery of practice and best practice. So yes, that's obviously I'm still like buzzing over it, but yeah, any questions?
No, I suppose for PCF, right, when we look at strengthening identity of our Pasifika communities, one of the reasons why I wanted PCF to have a presence at the symposium is that they're very much an important and large part of our community, not only as Pasifika, but here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and throughout the region. And I think what came across really clearly from when I was there is that they just want to be seen and be heard, right, and be included, and that actually it's not like it's something that's just happened. That when you look at, for example, the Leitis movie that Jolene Mataele had hosted during one of those nights, those Leiti have been around for a long, long time, right? Serving royal families. So it's not, and they're not treated any differently. You know, they're actually treated with a lot of respect. So when you hear what they're doing in places like Tonga, and then you hear of, you know, the conflicting stories of others in different, but also in Tonga, but also throughout the region, it's like they shouldn't have to go through that.
No,
right? So it's awesome that they're being given a platform to talk and share their stories. And, you know, PCF, we're all about, you know, strengthening their identity as Pasifika here in Aotearoa, but also through the region. But it also helps us to deepen our relationship as an organisation with those communities in the region, but also being able to provide a platform through PCF to amplify their stories and let them tell their stories. So that was one of my reasons for doing that, because they need to be, they're a section of society we cannot forget or leave behind or ignore. They very much are a part. And look, I think it'll be hard to find one Pasifika or Māori person that doesn't have a connection, whether it be a whānau connection or a friend connection to someone who identifies as LGBTIQ plus Pasifika, right? So let's continue to amplify their stories and use platforms that are available. So thank you, Melissa. Do I have a question? No, I think you've answered our questions, and it'd be great. Yes, your piece that you wrote, and also we've got some videos that we will be sharing on our platform soon of interviews that you did with some of those people. So yeah, I just want people to look out for those. But I don't have any questions. Do you have anything, Angie, that you'd like to?
Not a question, but once again, Jill, thank you for sending me there, because that was the first time I have ever attended a FINE Fest, and I have attended a lot of Pacific events coming from Fiji. We have the pageant that we also have in Fiji during the hibiscus, but this was different. This was trying to when you said that they are trying to get their identity out there, like just for people to be identified should not be such a difficult task. But sitting in that crowd, it made me realize that we actually have things so easy. We do not really recognize people's struggles, or we don't understand people's struggle until you go and sit in a crowd and listen to them. So I think on the second day, the opening was very good. The first evening when I went, it gave me a lot of Dr. Patrick gave me a lot of insight on the Manalangi report went and read it. But the second morning, I think, when was it Joshua whose play we were watching?
Yes, they had a panel of artistic creatives, and one of them was Joshua, who gave was like a sort of a I can't remember what it was called, but it was pretty much a performance.
It was kind of a monologue.
Monologue
He wrote his play, and it was more of a monologue. He acted it out, and Melissa and I, we were holding each other and crying. So I'm just glad that it was so dark, but we could hear like sniffles all around the crowd. But the message, the message that he had, and the panel itself, the collection of people that were on the panel, especially his mother was there, and the contrasting stories, his relationship with his mother, and another panelist who had it really difficult. So that my experience, it was an eye opener, and I really hoped, I mean, like, I regretted that I could not take my daughter to something like that. I think young people today need to be part of. It's FINE Fest, but I think it should not be, like, maybe the I know the crowd was small because that's how they want it. I think they do not advertise it in a way where everybody goes and sees that. But at least I think high school kids and Melissa's kids and my kids who are interested in things like that, and I'm sure your daughter.
Yes, she came to one of them.
She came to, right? Okay. So I think the whole event was recorded. So the recording is maybe something.
They were live streaming all the sessions, weren't they, Melissa?
Yes, they were. So I don't know exactly where we can go find it. But if you look up FINE Pasifika, I'm sure there should be some link there on their social media or their website. But yes, lucky, it's great that you put up the Manalangi project, because we did attend the report launch, which was a project done over a span of 3 years, which is considered a document that is, what do you call it? Self-reported health information by, researchers and academics within the Pasifika Rainbow community. And so they interviewed just over 1,000 participants, and so then they got over 1,000 respondents, and then they had about 50 to 60 Pacific Rainbow community members who they followed in terms of getting further narratives. And so I please encourage you to go and look up the Manalangi report, which I'm sure, Joe, we can link to this amazing podcast. And please just really take a look at it, immerse yourself in the data. If you have questions, I'm sure there is a way in which you can research and educate yourself to figure out what these answers will be. But if anything, I think it's more so the internal work, Angie, which is something that me and Angie were whispering about, because, I think having the heart to be able to recognize what you and your own position can do for people who are just asking to be seen comes easy to some and hard for others. And even though we recognize that, it did make me a little bit upset when you hear that, there are people out there who are still not accepting them. And I know that's part of society and life, but it was like, oh. So hopefully this hard evidence research-based quality piece of document is going to help that transition, because we definitely need it. Yeah.
And so that research piece, I think, is really important as well, because the research piece was done led by Dr. Patrick. So where we've seen in the past that sort of research being done by non-Pacific, the fact that it was done by an all-Pacific team just adds more clout to the report and the findings, right? So, and we need to encourage that. The more research that is being done by our Pasifika researchers and academics just means that we can provide us with more richer insights that maybe otherwise we have not seen in the past. So,
agree.
And I sat at that launch, and some of the results were quite like in your face.
Yeah.
Such as some people just couldn't access healthcare because no one would take them in.
No one would take them in. Yeah, it was about 69%. I read it yesterday. It was
Yes,
about 69, or it could be wrong, but it was over half of respondents
Yes.
had said that they struggled to find a GP that made them feel welcomed or safe, and or received a service that was up to standard. And so, seeing that just makes you think, imagine the engagement that's lost or the health support that could be received.
exactly.
And so and that's not even all the information. The one thing that did kind of surprise me, but didn't surprise me, but it's so good to see, is that majority of the respondents in the survey had mentioned that a safe space for them looks like creative arts and performance. And from what I saw at Finefest, and I don't blame them for claiming that, because they are so damn good at it. You know what I mean? And sitting there in the crowd,
It puts us straight women to shame.
But if anything, it empowered me as well, to be true in my truth. And I was like, if someone told me to get up and walk like that right now, I would so get up and walk like that, which Coco Chandelier did to me on the first day. She got all of us to walk up and catwalk, and I was like, oh my God, no, me. And then so I gave it a go. I was really shy the first time, and then she said, let's really see you, catwalk. This is your runway. This is your pageant. And so, you really felt like, okay. So, of course, she tried again. And then she eliminated people. And I was in the top 3. And then it was maybe because she felt sorry for me looking lost. But she gave us the microphone and asked 3 questions. And, and then we were like, and it was just such an experience, because I've never been in a pageant, and I really felt like I was in one. So I can really say I was in a Finefest pageant. So no, I absolutely loved it. Yeah.
Have you been in a pageant?
Oh, not in a proper pageant. No, I've been in a pageant at home.
I have been.
You have been?
Yes.
Have you?
Yes.
Tell us.
I was Miss Friendly North 2004.
Miss Friendly North.
So Friendly North is Vanuatu, the other island in Fiji.
Friendly North.
North.
I thought you said Friendly Not, as in
North.
North. To clean my ears out.
Oh, maybe I didn't say it properly. Friendly North. Yeah. So they have a carnival once a year, and it's a charity event, and business houses, they get together and do an event.
So I was a beauty queen. Should have had you there walking, strutting your stuff.
Hey, I did well. I got in the top 3, all right? So
you did, you did.
Okay, you got in the top 3.
Oh, we forgot to go about, I think, the Mana Langi TV series that will be coming out.
Yeah, that's coming out, eh? That'll be coming out soon.
That is, I didn't know the exact date, but I have been looking out on their social media, and I think it's definitely this year, hopefully before Christmas. But they gave us a snippet of it at the launch.
You keep talking. I need to go find a charger. Okay, so you two keep our audience organized, because otherwise we're going to go dead.
So alongside the Mana Langi report, there will also be a TV series, and just from what we saw, I can't wait. I think everybody's gonna love it. But
I think it's going to be a really informative series. I probably don't know 90% of the things that was those small snips that were played. I didn't know most of those things.
Wow, Angie. And we might consider ourselves as being inclusive and up to date. There was actually a lot that we didn't know, which I acknowledge as well. But don't you reckon, Angie, what I found really like, whoa, that's crazy, was in the mini series, it's not just documentary of people's life, they actually add drama. You know how they situations through drama. So for me, if you are a learner by visual, by practical, or by reading a document, you have no excuse. You know what I mean? The Mana Langi project has been like, here you go,
it's simple.
Learners, you have no reason not to say that you are not getting educated directly from us. Here is how. So can't wait. I cannot wait.
Hour. Yay.
Oh, there we go.
And we've still got people tuned in and watching.
That's
even better.
I don't know, but yes. But that's a roundup for me from Fine Fest. It doesn't even do it justice. So please go look up Fine Pasifika's Instagram and Facebook, or the Manalangi Instagram, Facebook. There's a whole lot more stuff there as well. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Melissa. And look, we're sorry that you're not with us on the team anymore, but it was awesome that you were able to come and join us today and share that, because I think it was a highlight for you and a great way to end your little assignment with us. But you're not going to be away for too long, because I think we'll still have you come and do guest appearances on our TokTalk Sundays, which only happen once a month. And, it is a Sunday evening. So normally some of us have some time to spare. But I suppose what else has been happening in the region? I think another really interesting fact that I came across on the weekend was around Pacific languages, and that there's been a 40% uptake in people studying Pacific languages, right? So they didn't give too much around the breakdown or the makeup of that increase in people, but I think what I found really, really interesting is that NCEA offers 12 Pacific language courses, right? So again, the work that has been done in the community, but also out there to promote languages, is working, because we're seeing a lot more people studying it. But yeah, what do you think, ladies?
The 40% increase in uptake, I think it probably has also a lot to do with the language weeks that is going on. And to be honest, I did enroll in one of those
Pacific language
courses. I think it's 8 weeks course, and it was great. I didn't complete it. I'm not very proud of it. And it was evening classes, but it's great to know that the number 40%, and a lot of people are now taking up such courses and learning. And for the NCEA one, to be honest, I didn't know. I didn't know they were 12 languages.
So there's an interesting fact. Also up on our website, if you're interested in what's happening with the games, obviously the Solomon Games, the Pacific Games, is happening in Honiara at the moment, and they had a massive opening ceremony last Sunday.
How cool was the energy?
I know.
I even practiced walking in myself, because I was so proud of everybody. Oh, I loved it. Sorry, Joe.
No, please.
Yeah.
I was wanting to say that it's great, and it's just so encouraging to see all that unity, right? The 21 or 22 countries that are participating. And when you look at the medal tally, which I looked at this morning as I was preparing the notes for this, nearly every country has won at least one medal. Most countries, which is encouraging. But obviously, you got the top 3 people from Numia and Australia and Samoa and Fiji. They obviously dominate the medals because they've got larger populations and they have the facilities to be able to compete and really win those medals. But it's good to see little countries also winning, like Nauru and the Solomons, and just the sports as well. So yes, everyone wants to look and see who's winning all the medals, but from a PCF perspective, as a result of our partnership with Pacifica TV, we have managed, they've got teams up there covering the games, and so they're providing us with a daily update of what's happening at the games. And it's not, the daily update isn't a focus on athletics, on the sports. It's actually focusing on what is happening around the sport, or highlighting sort of real human life stories of people that are involved in the games. And last week, which I thought was interesting, but needed, was putting on the games is a massive undertaking, right? And having the whole community behind the putting on the games is what actually makes for interesting news. And there's an interview on our website or on our YouTube channel that Pacifica TV have done with a pig farmer who was talking about having to host all these visiting nations and having to rear pigs to be able to provide roast pork meals for everybody and feed everyone that's coming to the games, which I think is awesome. Another story which we got over the weekend, which will go up on our website in the next 24 hours, is around anti-doping, right? And making sure that in the spirit of sportsmanship, but also in the spirit of unity and bringing Pasifika together from around the region, that people are competing on a level playing field. So there's an agency that are doing education and outreach. And in the last games, they tested sort of between 200 and 250. These games, they'll be testing 300 athletes. So they're randomly tested, randomly selected. But what they do before they even get to the point of testing is that they educate people and that they do outreach, so that it is not a surprise if they are selected to go through the exercise. So and it's good to see, because it puts the games at a similar level to the Olympic Games and the Commonwealth Games, that they are subject to similar interrogations that all other professional athletes have to go to. So have a look at our website and also our YouTube to see some of those stories. I had a note here, Melissa. Last week I saw that Pasifika Women launched a wellbeing report.
Yeah.
Do you just want to share a little bit about the report? Because I think the report is available today to the public. So can you share a little bit about that with us, please?
Sure. So the Pasifika Women, which is a national women's collective network that I'm a part of, the Southern Vice President there at the moment for the next year as well. We, in the last couple of years, have been gathering data around the experiences of Pasifika women and young girls in Aotearoa, New Zealand. And it is a wellbeing report. And I guess the purpose was about having, similar to Manalangi project, having women be in charge of self-directed research around, gathering data for the general public use to inform decision makers. And so a lot of the questions centered around, economic prosperity, social experiences, health, and even terms around your own consideration of your experiences here in Aotearoa, however they may look. And so finally the report had a launch gathering in Wellington, and I do want to mention that this was funded by Pasifika Proud, Amy Steam, and Share Social Development. Thank you very much. And so it was lovely to see some of our women who could make it celebrate this amazing achievement. And then today it is free and alive for everyone to access through Pasifika Proud's website page. We can go and read what the findings were in there. So thank you, Joe, for reminding me about that. And I'm excited to see what people's feedback is, but also what people do from the data gathered. Because it's all good that we go and do all this research, but it's really measuring the performance in terms of like what people actually do with it, similar to our perception study as well.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of people give voice and good intention towards research that is led by Pacific, for Pacific and everyone else, but it's really what actions and tangible outputs are you putting in to ensure positive outcomes from the report is something that that's the real work, Joe? So please go take a look, have a read. Mean a lot to our women. Thank you.
Thanks, Melissa, for that. I'm sorry, I should have given you some update that we were going to include that in the update today. But I suppose the other thing too is Angie has been very busy, or we're both busy, because a lot of our interns started their internship experiences today. So Angie and I have been busy doing that. We're in Wellington this week to go meet our Horneke interns and introduce them to their employers. Do you want to just talk briefly about how you are finding the whole process and the experience?
Definitely a learning experience. And so far we have got 8 interns. We had 10, had to drop 2, summer classes and all those things. Very lucky that we found just the perfect host employers. So the students who are from all walks of studies, science, data management, health, business, policy. So wherever they intended to be placed, we managed to agriculture. We managed to put them there. The whole experience has not been an easy one, and I know, especially for Joe as well. And I don't know, the hours that we have put in to ensure that the interns get this kind of experience, because the internship program as a whole, Joe, I believe that our viewers need to understand that the Manaki scholars are those that we are putting into a scholarship, Manaki scholars from the Pacific. And these scholars will be going back to their home country. These are the experience that would really be beneficial when they are going back and placed in workforce. And the point of difference that PCF has tried to do is give them some real life experience. So our host agencies are actually, they are placed in places like those places where they can expect to get a job back in their region. And this is a experience of one of its kind. When we meet the interns, when we take them to meet the employers, the kind of gratitude that they're showing, and all the plays that they are already making, that how I'm going to use this, not just in my studies, but how this will benefit my country, that is really touching. So a lot is being done, and I'm really proud that we have been doing this internship. PCF has been doing it for a very long time, right?
Yeah, we have been, but the last 2 years it was farmed out to another organization to look after that, and we decided this year to bring it back in-house. And yes, it has been hard, even though we're dealing with a smaller cohort, but it's making sure that we're finding host organizations that align with our values and our strategic objectives from PCF, but also are able to provide experience that these interns will be able to take back home. So yeah, it's been hard work, but you know what? It's an enriching experience when you get to meet these interns and they come in and they're really truly thankful, because they do say we're not eligible for the domestic internships, and they really want that experience. They just want the exposure, and you know, if PCF can do that, that's 95% of our job done.
So I'm all of a sudden I am a mother to 8 more kids.
Yeah, Angie, because you know you're a good mum.
I am, yes.
Yes, so
I know this
is all for this job.
Yeah, you're the right.
I know my 8 kids will be making me really proud.
Yes, so Auntie likes it that she's got all these adopted kids for the rest of the summer who have her number on speed dial. So great work, Angie. Keep it up. But hey, look, you girls can talk, because almost our hour is almost up, and I think there's a few things happening still in the region as we head towards Christmas and the New Year. I suppose one of the things that I wanted to share is this week in Auckland on Thursday at Government House, NZIIA is launching, together with Ruben Azizian, the launch of the Security and Intelligence book. So that's something to look out at as we talk about security in the region, because I suppose that's probably something that we could look at moving forward, that security is not all about how we protect our country from war. It is a part of that, but the biggest security threat to the region is climate change. And so what is happening up at COP28 in the next couple of weeks, I think will be important, as we see a lot more youth heading up into the region to advocate for their countries and their whenua and their people. We'll be watching that with to see what comes out of that. But apart from that, look, we've got one more session before we wrap up the end of the year, and we'll probably have some of our youth that we've got coming into work with us hop on that TokTalk, where they'll talk about what's happened at COP, but also what we're seeing in the region from a youth perspective, which Melissa has a real passion for, right? And then also we'll talk about some of the other things that were happening with our perceptions report, where our perceptions report has been accepted to be presented at the inaugural Pacific Researchers Symposium that's happening later next month as well. So keep an eye on our socials, keep an eye on our website where we're putting up all our news stories. And look, if you are interested in being a part of the panel and want to be a part of this Talanoa conversation, kōrero, please reach out to us and let us know, because we'd love to have you on board, to have you unpack and share your opinion and use our platform to get your voice out there. But before I sign off for everyone, I'll open the floor up to the ladies to give us some departing remarks, Melissa, and then Angie, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Maloa Pito, for having me on today. Hope everyone has a safe end of the month for November. Can't believe we're coming into December. You know, stay warm, look after yourselves, and ladies, I'm sure we'll be in touch anyway. I don't know why I'm being formal about our goodbye with you, because we're going to probably chat after this on Messenger. But no, thank you again for having me.
You're welcome, Melissa. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure summing up our month of November with all of you. And yes, while summer is here, our weekend was very, very cold. So you have to keep warm and take care of yourself. Looking forward to December festive, expensive season. And see you next month.
Expensive season.
Yeah.
We just had Black Friday sales, so you should online
My
and
mum's gone
do your
crazy.
shopping.
She's bought a whole new lounge set and a brand new TV.
Oh, go your mum. Go your mum.
You're falling into this capitalist world. And she said, shush, Nola, you want to buy it. So,
I know. But hey, look, Thanksgiving and all the Black Friday sales, you know, is it really a bargain? But hey,
yeah,
we
just
seem to be
stay quiet when you have no money. But it was lovely. Yeah.
Lovely to see you all. Thank you for tuning in to TokTalk Sundays with PCF. Thank you, Melissa Lama and Angie Naidu Khan. From us to you, ofa tu maloa pito. Bye.
Bye.